I think the secret to success is gratitude. I think the secret to life is gratitude. I think the secret to everything is gratitude. Now, I didn't always believe this. I didn't always fully understand or embrace the concept of gratitude. But I would say in the last year, 1 to 2 years, life hit me like a ton of bricks, and like life would have it, this wasn't working, so I went a different direction. Now, I'm a words of affirmation type of person, so me expressing my gratitude for things it came naturally when I was intentional about doing it. But I didn't do it with the purpose of receiving a reward or seeing any changes or benefits to my life. I just did it to create new habits. Other than complaining less, I just wanted to do something better that wasn't always complaining or having a bad attitude. And I hadn't really invested too much time into gratitude until I started making time for gratitude. So if you're in a season or a funk right now, or you're just looking to reset, refresh, renew your spirit, renew your business, your career, your relationships, your habits, start with gratitude. I highly encourage, just as soon as you wake up, don't touch the phone, don't even talk to anyone, just say something you're grateful for. It could be one or many things. But starting your day off with gratitude has been, for me at least, and maybe I'm projecting the benefits that have worked in my life, but I truly am a firm believer in gratitude, and that being a core part of my foundation alongside of my why. Because the moments where I realized that I was complaining way too much, or my attitude was bad, or I was dragging my feet, I just felt like life was out of control. Life was miserable. And it takes practice. It takes practice, which is why I encourage you to start small in the morning. Start with one thing every single day that you're grateful for. If you want to take it a step up, write it down. Get a journal, a gratitude journal. Visit my website. Maybe I have one for sale by now. But truly, changing my perspective from complaining to gratitude and thankfulness, I've seen a significant difference just in my day-to-day actions and my approach to life and business and relationships, and just even how I communicate. Because for many, many years, I was complaining at my 9 to 5. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. I don't want to wake up. I don't want to go to this office. I don't want to get in the car. Oh my God, I need gas. Like so many different things. Like I was placing these barriers in front of myself, when rather than changing my circumstances, or at least my attitude, I just kept repeating the same vicious, ugly cycle. And there, a lot of it, I was just like, a lot of it was internal. And I'm sure God was hearing my prayers and setting, God is always ahead of me. So he was establishing my steps as I was going that I wasn't aware of. But it was when I started to shift the way I spoke about work and being thankful for the little things. Like, I get to go to work. I get to do this. I get to get in my car. I get to make money on a consistent basis. And like I said, it took practice. I didn't do it all the time, but it was acknowledging that something's got to give. And no one was really asking me, well, what do you want? I know everything you don't want to do. What do you want? And those answers were birthed out of me having gratitude for what I already had. And many of you know my story, or many of you don't. I quit my 9 to 5 after 15 years of working at the same company with somewhat of a solid plan. I just knew that I had to get out of there, and it was all about taking care of family at the time. And being stuck in that environment was not, it just wasn't the right choice for me at the time. It had ran its course, and I started to just change my habits, whether it was walking and taking public transportation to work instead of driving, or listening to podcasts or audiobooks instead of the radio. if it was walking during my lunch break instead of staying in my office another hour being miserable when I already didn't want to be in that office for the 8 hours I was assigned. Those little subtle changes added up and compounded and helped me to clear my mind when I was just suffocating it, or helped me to think about, well, what do I want? And then introducing things like a vision board or manifesting or praying, and eventually building a relationship with God and what that was like and what that is like, having faith, believing in myself. And then that just started to add up. Like I said, the compound interest was real. And I started to see the benefits, from the time I quit to after I quit to now, thank God, 7 years later, still in business doing this. And then taking everything I learned from that point on, and the moment I'm ready to start a new project, whether it's launching my coaching business or launching journals, workbooks, whatever the case may be, it starts with gratitude. Why do I want to do this? But then what am I grateful for that I can apply and give to this project that will help someone else? Like I said, what you'll be grateful for is on you. How frequently you practice gratitude is on you. I'm at a place now, fast forward 7 years later, probably at this point, a decade of putting this into practice and making it a habit in my life. I now schedule it into my day: morning, noon, afternoon, evening, night. At minimum, I'm spending time on my phone in my gratitude folder. What was I grateful for in the morning? As soon as that alert hits my laptop and my phone, gratitude time. And it could be, like I said, one thing or many. It just helps me to shift my perspective, especially if I'm going through something troubling in that time, or maybe there's construction happening that's interrupting the flow of my video. Gratitude is being grateful that I could still hear, or gratitude is I know how to edit a video, instead of saying, why can't they do this another day? Why are they so loud? It's really just a lot of practicing of shifting your mindset and your perspective. So that's why I think gratitude is the secret to all of our success and all of our wins and achieving our goals and our dreams and being a good, kind person at the end. If anything, work on being a good, kind person, a kind person. Kindness, kindness, kindness. And having empathy for people and being compassionate and just having gratitude. It rubs off on other people. I learned this from other entrepreneurs and other, people that I've studied and read about, family members, throughout all the different walks of my life. I've seen how those who have won and achieved their definition of success, it was because they gave back, they were grateful, they were kind. There was no hesitation in that. But I'm sure at a certain point in time for them, it took practice. And if it comes naturally for you, more power to you. Double down and keep going. But overall, gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. It makes a big difference. And let me know in the comments one thing you are grateful for. I'd love to hear from you, and just keep this ball rolling of videos and content. And if there are topics you want me to discuss, let me know, because we're pumping out videos on a weekly basis. And who else? And who else? And who knows what else? There could be more live streams, shorts, reels, you name it. You never know. But if you do want to connect with me outside of this platform, visit my website, transactioncare.com. You can access, like I said, one-on-one coaching, become a member of my private TC member community platform, as well as purchase other services, products, merch, whatever lives on my website at the time of this release. It's all there at transactioncare.com. And until the next video, thank you again for joining me on this monthly check-in. I hope it helps you and brings value and light to your life. But until the next one, my name is Lillian Hernandez, but you can call me Lily. And this is Transaction Care. Care for yourself, care for your wealth. Your time is worth it. Let's coordinate. Talk soon. And you know the deal. Visit one of these other videos here to learn more about Real Estate Business and Mindset, and double tap my smiley face so you can subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thank you again for watching.